Good morning to all of you. So we are studying about, we studied already about the partnership, and we studied its features. There are different types of partners, and also we studied about the different types of partnerships. Okay, and we also studied about the partnership deed and the registration. Next topic that we have to study, or a next type of next form of organization business can take is a cooperative society. Okay, so cooperative society. This word, the word cooperative, means working together and with others for a common purpose. So being the word meaning of cooperative, so we are familiar with the word cooperative. So we cooperate each other, or we have already heard the word cooperative. So the meaning of cooperative means that working together and with others for a common purpose. So we a large number of people work together for a common purpose. So that is the meaning of cooperative. Okay, and we can say that this cooperative society also is the same, or the work of the cooperative society is the same. The cooperative society is a voluntary association of persons who join together with the motive of welfare of the members. Okay, so cooperative society is a voluntary association of members. Voluntary association means that people join without any particular force. Okay, so means a voluntarily means the people by themselves, they join by themselves, not with the force of any other people. Okay, so it is automatically, or they themselves come and join. So those who are interested, see, like if we say that see, we have heard, see, like when we had that annual function and all, so father has already announced that those who want to be the volunteers, the people, those who are volunteers, we have found. So those who are interested, okay, it is not a compulsory thing. Those who want to help, or those who want to be the part of the activities, then they can join. So such kind of activity is called as the volunteers. So it is a voluntary association. It's the same thing. Those who want to join, they can join. It is not compulsory. Any force is not there. So such a way it is there. See, like if we are making, see, if we want to make a cooperative society, we can just tell them that those who are interested can join. Okay, so such kind of a association it is. So voluntary association. Okay, and they are driven by the need to protect their economic interest in the face of a possible exploitation at the hands of middlemen obsessed with the desire to earn greater profits. So they are affected by some people, especially the middlemen. There are some middlemen. See, like if we are marketing, if we are like a retailer, or say like the producers and the customers. So in between that, there are so many middlemen are there. So, see, like we purchase a product. See, for example, if you just consider, like if there's a product which is sold for 100 rupees, so you can say like the MRP. On every product, you can see there is a price written there, MRP, maximum retail price. Okay, so if the maximum retail price of this product is 100 rupees, so that is what the money that we are giving. So what do you know? What must be the price of the product, or what must be the manufacturing cost of this product? Can you say what is the manufacturing cost of the product of a 100 rupees product? Can you guess? Okay, anybody? Do you know what must be the manufacturing cost for? See, for example, this is a product. What must be the manufacturing cost of this one? For making this product, how much money must be spent? Do you know? Don't know. Okay, so I will tell you. It will be some around 20 rupees. Okay, 20 rupees. A product which is sold for 100 rupees is manufactured for 20 rupees. Okay, then where the money goes there? Where is the 80 rupees then? Why we are paying 80 rupees? So just imagine, see, like if the petrol, okay, the price of petrol that we are paying is 100 rupees. Is it no? Now the price has reached 100 rupees. You know, India import petrol from Saudi Arabia for 28 rupees. Okay. And it is sold to Sri Lanka for 38 rupees. And Indians, see, like India is selling to Sri Lanka for 38 rupees. 1 liter petrol cost is. And Indians are purchasing it for 100 rupees. Why it is there like that? Because the tax there. You know, so remaining amount is tax. So any product that we are purchasing, like if a product of 100 rupees is there, it is manufactured less than 20 rupees. 20 rupees is the maximum production cost. Means the company is producing it at 20 rupees and selling it. So in that, some 20 rupees additional will be there. Some around the tax will be there. So like GST. So when they implemented the GST, they said that the price of every product is going to come down. But after the implementation of the GST, I don't find that, can you say a single product whose price has reduced after the implementation of GST? Any product has reduced? Any product has not reduced. 1 liter of Fortune oil, okay, it was the cost at 85 rupees before the implementation of GST. Now the price of this one is 160. Almost the double. Is it no? No, yes, almost double. 85 rupees was the price of a 1 liter of oil. Now it is 160 rupees, just double. Petrol also, if you consider that earlier it was somewhere 60, 70 rupees was there, 70 rupees approximately it was there. Now it reached up to 100. Okay, so this is there. So this money is there. So 20 rupees around we are paying as tax. Okay, then another 20 rupees is spent on like advertisement cost is there. Advertisement is there, isn't it? Or a transportation cost will be there. Warehousing cost is there. Or some other, all the other expenditures are there. So like we have to pack the product, packing is there. Transportation, warehousing, so much amount of procedures are there. So for that, this will be spent. So adding all together, it will become around 60 rupees. Okay. Then remaining 40 rupees is the profit. Okay. So profit of the middleman. Middleman in the sense there is like there will be a distributor. So this product is produced by a company, and it will be the company will be handing over this product to a distributor. So the distributor will take around 20 rupees, around 20 rupees or 10 to 15 rupees profit he will take. Okay. Then there is a wholesaler. He will also take around 10 to 20 rupees profit, 10 or 10, 15 rupees profit. And there is a retailer. He will also take some around 10 or 20 rupees. See, for example, the distributor may be taking a 10 rupees profit. 10 rupees profit. Wholesaler may be taking a 15 rupees profit. Retailer will be taking a 15 rupees profit. So all these are of around 40 rupees profit will be spent. You cannot see that now. Okay, so this will be there. So product is manufactured for 20 rupees. Some around 20 rupees is spent on a tax, and some other 20 rupees is there, which is spent for transportation cost, packing cost, advertisement cost, such kind of costs are there. In that way, it will be there. So altogether, it will become around 60 rupees, and the remaining 40 rupees is spent on the profit of the different people. Okay, different middlemen. And this we can avoid. How we can avoid? If you purchase the product directly from the company. So that is why most of the time we purchase like on. Okay, can you listen to me? Can you hear me? Can you listen to me? Okay, clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we purchase the product for 100 rupees, and the remaining, see, like 60 rupees anyhow we have to pay. We cannot avoid this one. The tax we have to pay. Otherwise, we cannot sell the product. And the other 20 rupees is there, which is like a packing, is there, transportation, all these things are essential. We cannot avoid this one. But this 40 rupees can be avoided. How we will avoid? Because when you purchase a product from the company directly, and how do you purchase the product directly by the company? It is through online shopping, you know. So that is why when you purchase a product, most of the time when you purchase a product online, you get a very less amount of so much amount of discount, you know. So online companies, like if you purchase a product from Amazon or Flipkart or all these type of things are there. So what we get is, see, like we get around the 60% or 40 to 60% of offers, you know. A product costing 300 rupees is available for 250 rupees or 150 rupees or even 100 rupees. Okay, some fake companies are also there. If you purchase like a Flipkart, Amazon, all these type of famous or already existing kind of companies, there is less chance of getting cheated. Sometimes so they are all just like a platform. Okay, they are also simply helping us to get the product. So they are also, so like, see, Amazon is taking a profit there. Okay, and there are also distributors are there, the companies, there are distributors are there, distributors, profiters also there. So some around 10 or 15 rupees can be spent for there, but also some around 25 to 30 rupees profit we will get. Around the 25% to 50% profit we can get. Okay, and that is what a benefit is there. So likewise, that is a one method. And another method is by making a cooperative society, directly purchase the product from the company. So see, like if I am interested to purchase a product, only one product if I want to purchase, and if the company is in Delhi, I cannot go to Delhi and purchase, you know. But what we can do is that, see, like imagine, see, if in our school there are so many students are there, those who are, imagine if I have to purchase a book, and if we directly purchase it is from the publishers, then we can get it from a low cost, low amount. Okay, so if many are there, or if any other products are there, so what we do is that they create a cooperative society. People those who are interested, or people those who are having the similar interest, will be joining together to form a cooperative society, and by using this cooperative society they can avoid the middleman. So they can directly order the product from the company and they can purchase it. So in that way, they can avoid the middleman, and they will be getting, so the profit which is given to the middleman can be reduced, or that benefit can be gained by the consumers. Okay, so cooperative society is driven by the need to protect their economic interest in the face of possible exploitation at the hands of middlemen, obsessed with the desire to earn greater profit. So if they are bringing in that way, means it is also somewhat okay. Okay, but what happens is that what they do is that the middlemen, in order to make more profit, they bring low quality product and they try to sell it in a very high price, you know. So because we get exploited there, so this type of exploitation can be avoided by the help of the cooperative society. Okay, so cooperative society is compulsorily required to be registered under the Cooperative Societies Act 1912. The process of setting up a cooperative society is simple enough, and at the most what is required is the consent of at least 10 adult persons to form a society. The capital of a society is raised from its members through issue of shares. The society acquires a distinct legal identity after its registration. So cooperative form of a society, cooperative society is compulsory to be registered. So we have to register the cooperative society, and registration of the cooperative society is compulsory. Okay, and once we get the registration of this cooperative society, we get a legal validity. So it will become a legal value is there. So once if the cooperative society is registered, after that it has got a legal validity is there. Okay, and for getting registration, or the minimum requirement is that a minimum 10 members should be there. Okay, so 10 members join together and the consent of 10 letters, 10 members should be there. Means 10 people are there, those who are interested to join in the cooperative society, and all these 10 people have to agree to start the or running the cooperative society. Okay, so if 10 people are willing to start the cooperative society, they will be able to run it. Do you understand? And let us study. Okay, can you listen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we are going to study the features of a cooperative society. We studied what is a cooperative society. Now we can study about the features of a cooperative society. Okay. The characteristics of a cooperative society are listed below. So first one is that a voluntary membership. The membership of a cooperative society is voluntary. A person is free to join the cooperative society and can also leave anytime as per his desire. There cannot be any compulsion for him to join or quit a society. Although procedurally a member is required to serve a notice before leaving the society. There is no compulsion to remain a member. Membership is open to all, irrespective of their religion, caste, and gender. So membership, there is like first and foremost importance of this one is that it is a voluntary membership. Okay, so the memberships, so the members are free to join. There is no compulsion, there is no any pressure given to them, the members, to join the cooperative society. And once they join, it is also free. They are also free that anytime they can leave. There is no compulsory to continue in the business for a long duration. Okay, so anytime if they are feeling that we are not having any benefit by being in this cooperative society, then they can leave it. So anytime in the interest of the people, they can join and they can leave. Okay, they can leave, but there is a formality for leaving. That is, they have to give a notice. See, like if I am interested, if I am a member of a cooperative society, and if I want to leave, then I have to give an application or a request has to be given to the. There will be a board of directors or the managing committee will be there. So we have to submit an application to the managing committee, and say means like if. So minimum 10 members are required, and if only 10 members are there. So if 10 members are not there, then the cooperative society cannot run. If there are a large number of members, there is no any issues. But if only 10 members are there, and if a member is leaving, then they should have another one member. So there should be some time for rearranging the member. So like if one member is going, so there should be another member to join. So for that, at least like 1 month time maybe there, or 3 months time will be given for us. A notice period is there. Okay. So a notice has to be given that saying that I am planning to leave the cooperative society, and the managing committee will be deciding. They will tell that after 1 month you can leave, because now we have to arrange another person for that. Okay, and in normal cases, like if there are more than 10 members are there, if 15 members are there, one person is going, it is not going to affect it, because the minimum criteria for a cooperative. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first one is that voluntary membership is there. So anybody, if they want to leave, then they can leave at any time. There is no compulsory that they should continue in the business for a longer duration. Okay. Then okay. So the next feature that we have to study is about the legal status. Okay. So if for a business to continue, there is a legal status will be there. Okay. So registration of a cooperative society is compulsory. This accords a separate identity to the society, which is distinct from its members. The society can enter into contracts and hold property in its name, sue and be sued by others. As a result of being a separate legal entity, it is not affected by the entry or exit of its members. So when see the registration of the cooperative society is compulsory, and once if the registration is completed, all the procedures have been completed, then it will get a legal status. It means like it is considered as an artificial person or a legal person. Okay. So if a cooperative society is there, it is having all the rights equal to a human being. So like if I am having CPP, consider that I am a citizen of India, and I am having some rights and responsibilities are there. So the somewhat that to the same, there is a legal status will be there. See, just imagine like a Little Flower School. Okay, so Little Flower School is coming under a trust, or it is under a cooperative society, and it is having it is registered. It is a registered association. It is a registered organization. So if the property that belong to, like they are say like the buildings are there, or the land is there, or whatever may be there, like the buses are there, or any property that is there, even of a bench, desk, or whatever may be there, a fan, or anything is there. So everything is in the name of Little Flower School, not in the name of the principal, not in the name of the manager, not in the name of any teachers. Okay, so like here, see, like earlier Saji father was there, and now another father came. So if father comes or goes, or manager comes or goes, or teacher comes or goes, it is not going to affect the existence of the school, because the school is a legal person. So it has got its own existence, legal validity is there. So in front of the court, it is just like a human being. Okay, so the land of this one, see, like the car was there, or the bus is there, or the room is there, or everything is there. So Father Saji was here. So after that he went. So he cannot take away anything, because all these properties are belonging to the school. So until and unless he is being as a principal, he will be making use of it. And after when he is going, it belongs to another person. So he is just like we are there. He is also an employee. We are also employees. So until and unless we are here, we are working as a teacher. Once if I am resigning from this school, I am no more having any connection with the school. Or if I go to any other school, if I leave this school and go to another school, then I cannot take away any property of this school, which is because it is belonging to the school, or everything is there in the name of the school. So in the same way, a cooperative society also is registered, and it can purchase property in the name, in its name. Okay, so if there is a cooperative society, and it can purchase land, it can make building, it can enter into contracts in the name of, see, like imagine, see, like if a certificate is given, see, for example, now see, like if you have completed 10th class. Okay, so when you completed a 10th class, you got a certificate, and you got the certificate. Imagine if you receive the certificate with the school seal, so there is a seal, round seal is pasted on that, so that is the signature of the school. So if I give you a certificate, then my signature will be there. But when a school is giving you, any document is given by the school, there will be the seal of the school. That is the signature of the school. Is it no? So whatever, so that is there. So for any registered organization, they will have their stamp will be there, so that seal will be there. So that is compulsory to maintain, and that is the signature of that institution. So if a sealed document is given to you, okay. So if imagine, see, like when Father Saji was there, at that time you have received this certificate, and now you are coming and asking to Father Jojo that we have received this certificate and there is any problem in this. And Father Jojo cannot say that I am not responsible for this one. Father Saji was there at that time only, it was there. It cannot be there because he is also has to answer, or he has to see to it that because it is the name of the school is written there. The seal of the school is there. It is given in the name of the school. It is not in the name of any particular teacher, or it is not in the name of any particular father, or anything is not there. Okay, so whatever may be, whoever may be the manager, whoever may be the principal, whoever may be the teachers, it is not going to affect it, but the cooperative society or the organization is there. So this is an organization and it is in the name of the organization and it is a registered organization. So the seal is very clear on that. Okay, so we can understand with the help of the seal which is pasted on that. Do you understand? Okay, so that is about the legal status. So if there are like the members, so the members of the cooperative society, if a new member enter into the cooperative society or existing member is living from the cooperative society, it is not going to affect. Do you understand? So a entering of a new member and exiting of a new existing member is not going to affect the business because it is not affected by the cooperative society, because it is it has got its own legal validity is there. So it is in front of the law. It is just like the human being. Okay, it is an artificial person. It is having a legal status. Okay. The next one, the next point is there about a limited liability. The liability of the members of a cooperative society is limited to the extent of the amount contributed by them as capital. This defines the maximum risk that the member can be asked to bear. Okay, so if when we are starting up a cooperative society, if imagine like you are investing 50,000 rupees. Okay, so there are 10 members are there, and each of these members are investing 50,000 rupees each. So there will be, it will be made divided into maybe a share of 50,000 each. One share will be costing 50,000 rupees. So such way it will be there, and 10 members are there. Each of them have invested 50,000 each. So the maximum loss that you can face is 50,000, not more than that. Whatever may be your personal property, if the company goes, if the cooperative society goes in loss, and if it is facing maybe like 10 lakh rupees loss is there, but it is not going to affect the personal property of any person. So it is having a limited liability. Maximum loss that you can face is the 50,000 rupees which you have invested there. So that may be lost. That more than that, any single rupee also will not be lost. Or the cooperative society cannot ask you any money for paying after more than the money that you have invested. Only that money will be lost. So there is a limitation for the liability. So we can say that there is a limited liability. Okay. So the remaining portion we will study in the next class. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. If anything is not clear. Any doubts are there? Okay, if you don't have any doubts, then we can stop it for today. The remaining portion we will study in the next class.